So, I mean, if they want to bring that out, it's definitely a pick that gets them results so far. We'll see if Kiwoom DRX even want to try and deny it maybe in second rotation.
Well, here we are into pick and ban for game number 1. Gen.G will be on our blue side. Will be just regular blue side, red side. Second pick going over to the right, which feels fantastic for us boomers here that are just used to it being that way. Looks like the bans are going to be very, very usual, though, as Andil definitely deserving of the Bard ban, but Duro as well is another one that is a fantastic Bard player. I imagine that one is going to continue to be banned for the rest of the series.
Yeah, I wonder if we get... So Nocturne ban comes out, and... Karma or Jarvan? We've seen more and more Jarvan bans come through, and Karma's started to... Off the big four, she's the one that started to slip through a little bit more and more. You could ban neither and look to trade in this situation as well. That could be a decision Kiwoom DRX opt to go for. And they go for the Xin Zhao. So maybe thinking if Gen.G take the Karma, they can't pair it with the Xin Zhao, which is a great pairing, and we can take Jarvan into it. That being said, will Gen.G go with that line? Will they prioritize the Karma, or will they go for the Jarvan themselves?
I'm feeling like the Jarvan is more likely. That's where my head is at right now, but I'm not often right. So that could be a different decision, and the Karma will be coming on through. Not wanting to give that one over.
So that means likely Kiwoom DRX are going to pick up the Jarvan and going for the Ezreal as well, so you can't get the Ezreal Karma yourselves. You don't have that safety to get out the Cataclysm. And also, you think of the other pairings with the Karma. Sivir doesn't feel too good here.
Yeah.
It might end up being a Jhin angle in this situation.
Or Caitlyn. Caitlyn's possible as well.
Yeah.
You can play Caitlyn. You don't have to play Jhin. You can just play Caitlyn.
They can't hear you.
No.
They're in Vietnam. They're too far away.
Play Caitlyn's fine. Caitlyn's fine. It'll be totally all right. I promise.
Max, they're too far away. They can't hear you.
I need to yell louder. I just need to yell louder, and then it'll be fine. Oh, no. It's Jhin Karma.
And I wonder if Canyon ends up going... You could go just like Pantheon. You could... But he could just go the Skarner here, honestly.
You could.
Based on what we've seen him play. You could also pick up someone in the mid lane. You know, Annie's been quite high priority. Ryze as well on the new patch.
Pantheon instead.
Pantheon, yeah. So a pick that has kind of dropped off in terms of priority in the LCK. Started having less and less success recently. But definitely something that works. And Ucal will go for that Ryze. So not picking a pairing with the Ezreal yet. A little risky considering you're into Jhin Karma. But one in that mid lane pick. And notably, you pick Ryze. You can now get rid of the Anivia from Chovy. Cassiopeia as well. You can thin out some of those counters that have been causing issues for the Ryze so far. And I think for Gen.G, you know, maybe because it's second pick for Kiwoom DRX, there's some concerns about top lane picks, but I think for the most part, you can just target supports.
Yeah, I imagine that's probably the way.
Nico,
given the fact that everything is, like, if they ban Nico, it'd be kind of funny, wouldn't it?
I mean...
Widid is there on the space.
I know he hates Ezreal Nico, but we do see a lot of Ezreal Nico. And Nico does badly in a Karma, so I don't think Gen.G are going to be too scared about it. Widid's not even there to stop it. Instead, they go for the Nautilus.
So he's just leaving to cast the LEC right now. So we are second fiddle to Widid. Oh, man. He is soon to go the way of the Malhouse, I think. It's not looking good for Widid.
His mind's already over there.
It is. It definitely is. Oh, dear. He never left G2, as it turns out. Actually, he is with them right now, as we know. The Jace is going to be taken away here. So just making sure, like, some of the blind pick options aren't going to be there.
I'm not a big fan of this because you have counterpick as Kiwoom DRX. We've seen counterpicks work in the Jace. I know Kiin's obviously a very scary player, but you know who else is a scary player? Chovy, and you left his Anivia up when you have a Ryze.
And his Cassiopeia up as well. And he just played that matchup, and we had to have like multiple times talking about the Deathfire Touch issue that they're going to be running into. Maybe the Cassiopeia support is what their answer is into Jhin Karma, and that's the way of denying it. Haha.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, Kiwoom DRX could pick the Anivia themselves here.
Oh, yeah, Anivia support. That'd be
and use it as a bit of a denial. I wouldn't hate that, but the Nico is still open and available. I feel like Ezreal Nico will probably be what we go towards. Although, actually, go in Ezreal Seraphine. So, not as reliable a pairing, I feel like, as Ezreal Ashe, but you have a good amount of poke, good amount of sustain. And the pairing with Jarvan is very powerful. We've seen that.
Yeah.
The Ashe Seraphine Jarvan super strong. Obviously, the Ashe isn't here, but that Jarvan Seraphine duo is still there.
Very powerful. I'm wondering whether Chovy is going to go for the bird or whether it will be the Cassio. We know that he very much enjoys playing Anivia these days, so that might just be where he goes. Instead, we're going to start off with Kiin's pick. Oh, man. Jhin, Sion. Probably my least favorite combination in all of League of Legends.
Sion.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Sion's been doing
no.
well.
Sion, Sin.
Sin.
It's actually just Sin.
Yeah, just Sin. Sion's been doing really well in the LCK recently. Bit of a brick wall, and some of the top lane options thinned out as well, though he does well into Jace, but no Gwen going to be able to come out for Rich. And actually, it is just going to be the Anivia.
Yeah. It does make some sense. It's been one of the favorites of Chovy these days. And just Gnar for the top side of the map into the Sion. Rich should be having a pretty good time in that matchup, although we have seen Kiin do some pretty ridiculous things on the Sion in the early game.
Yeah.
So it's not a safe one for Rich, necessarily.
I feel like the draft started off pretty well. Kiwoom DRX, right? They set up a situation where they're going to get the Ezreal and the Jarvan, kind of baiting Gen.G into taking that Karma. But I feel like on the latter end, not banning the Anivia feels like such a free pick for Chovy when you prioritize that Ryze. Like, the third pick Ryze, setting yourself up to ban the counters, but then not banning the counters, I feel like was a bit of a missed move by Kiwoom DRX. And now having to deal with Jhin Karma, super strong bot lane 2v2. You have the Anivia in the mid lane. We know Chovy's been absolutely popping off on that pick. And Kiin's just going to be a brick wall on this Sion. So I think Gen.G kind of have everything they really want, other than, maybe preferring to have a bit more of a higher priority jungler. But they'll definitely just take the Pantheon.
They absolutely will. I am very much hoping that Canyon actually plays this proactively, though. This has been one of the champions where he has just said, well, I'm on this great early game jungler. I will see you in the jungle, and hasn't really done too much with it. That and the Jarvan have been some of the issues there. But I do think that he showed that he can play proactively on the Skarner in their last game, and hopefully he can bring that forward into this one here for their first game of this home front against Kiwoom DRX. Kiwoom DRX on the closest thing to home soil is for them, as LazyFeel is Vietnamese. Let's get into it. Not sure about the whole fan chant situation here with it being the home front, but I wanted to give it a chance to see whether it was going to happen. Just a little bit of a different thing, as we are not in Korea anymore. That's all right. Capybara having a little bit of a bath here. It's so incredibly cute. I love that emote.
But it's also great because, we had well, it was back when they were DRX, but the Kiwoom DRX, they had their emote, which was the LazyFeel Capybara.
Oh, yeah, true.
So it's cool that we're getting the Capybara emotes coming out as well.
Just celebrating.
Sides.
All right, so this is not likely to be all that much fun for Kiwoom DRX, is what I'm expecting.
Yeah.
They can always lean on the fact that they're not playing Jhin.
That is true. But Jhin Karma, pretty strong lane.
Oh, well, LazyFeel with a very preemptive barrier there. Still lost the trade. But Ruler used his as well. Heals coming out all over the place. We just really like to make sure that at level 1 you get everything on cooldown.
Some heavy trading. Ucal getting some good trading in here as well. Onto the Anivia. Both running the Deathfire touch here. Seeing this be pretty popular on the Ryze. I was thinking that Ryze without the phase rush would be a fair bit weaker, but it seems like the priority's risen.
Yeah.
I was also thinking the lack of phase rush specifically into Anivia would be a problem, but
I feel like our Ryze players have just said, but we can build Swifties, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
And we've seen sometimes that it's actually been fine. Not necessarily in this matchup specifically, but just a lot of Ryzes have just decided that they want to build Swifties regardless. And that is their way of mitigating it. So far, you can see everything pretty even throughout this one. But as far as like an even game state is concerned, I feel like an Anivia is always pretty happy about that. But over the side of Kiwoom DRX, they have Ryze and Ezreal that are going to be menaces later on in this game. I think they're pretty happy for a quiet one to start this off.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just a little concerned that having the Sion as a front line, you have the Pantheon as well who can soak a lot of damage, can feel difficult for the Ezreal to have that impact if you're just firing Mystic shots into a brick wall.
Yeah.
And also we've seen how Anivia, even if the lane isn't necessarily a massive advantage, can crush Ryze just when you start setting up for team fights. Now, Willow is trying to find an angle here, but has been spotted.
Yeah, Canyon able to come on over here as well, as the world's smallest wall is going to be put up here by Chovy, just to bother him momentarily. Canyon comes on down, though. It's going to be a trade of scuttles, and everything stays quiet in the early stages of the game. Kiin catching a wave. Looks like he's having an okay time here with his Soul Furnace up, hanging out in this top lane, just trying to weather the storm that is going to be the Gnar matchup.
Yep, a huge amount of pressure for him to get things done here. So far, you know, we saw some of those early trades gone pretty heavily in favor of Gen.G's bot lane, but LazyFeel and Andil getting a reset in and doing a decent job of keeping up in terms of farm. We'll be a little bit behind after Ruler picks up this wave.
Yeah, that one shouldn't be too denied, especially when Ruler and Duro have full health here underneath this turret.
One unfortunate thing is that LazyFeel didn't actually get a chance to pick up a tier on his reset, so I think going back for it now, obviously pretty important to get that early on.
Yeah, we'll actually complete it now. Got a longsword, so could have got it. Decided not to. So maybe that was a little bit of an error. It just goes for another reset here. They did get the crash, so it isn't going to be the end of the world, as he is joining the minion wave as he moves on up. And things still remain pretty even when it comes to the bottom side. Ucal as well, tier check. He has his, and Andil also has his. So there we go. All of the relevant tiers have been purchased. Chovy doesn't have his, though. That might be a problem. We'll see whether he's going to go for that build. Is Andil going to force the flash out of said Chovy?
Yeah, good setup from Kiwoom DRX, kind of coming in with a pincer movement from the sides, able to get Chovy's flash. Decent proactive play. We'll see if they're able to capitalize on that lack of summoner later on. But for now, finding a good timing there. And as Duro moved in, but wasn't really able to do anything until after the play had already happened. They are now trying to really heavy contest this river. See Canyons kind of hovering around the banana brush.
Yeah.
They won't find anything yet.
Ruler really wants to hit someone with that last shot. Does manage to do so. Gets the Deadly Flourish onto LazyFeel as well. As Duro does find the W, but doesn't find the snap. We'll see Canyon moving on down here as the Realm Warp is going to join him. Flash out from Canyon. Does have Chovy moving on down as Ucal flashes forward. The Aegis going to be helping as Ruler turns up as well. They want to really kill this Pantheon, but they're not going to be able to do so before Chovy grabs first blood. Finally, they'll take down Canyon, but there's a beautiful wall to set up for the return kill onto Willa. A 2-for-1 trade for Gen.G so far as the Deadly Flourish is going to connect on Andil as well, as there is Chovy finding it from downtown, and they're going to make it a 3-for-1.
This can be one of the big dangers of committing onto a Pantheon, is that he can stall for so long, buy so much time. If we actually look from the start of this play, so we have 3 members collapsing on a Canyon, but he flashes away. Ucal flashes to get the root, but his Aegis blocks so much damage. He then stuns and dodges a follow-up from Andil with the heal coming in from Duro. He actually isn't even the first to die in the play. He only goes down now. Look how low Willa is. Look how low LazyFeel is, and they've already lost Ucal. They committed so heavily to kill Canyon. And in the meantime, the rest of Gen.G were just getting free hits in and pick up 3 kills in return. Bit of a disaster for Kiwoom DRX.
I would say so, because they just got Chovy's flash. They're like, yes, we've kept him down. And now he's 2-0-1 with his catalyst complete. Got a cheeky ring there as well. Wanted to build up some of those stacks. And sitting at 6,500 gold in the lead over Ucal. It's not like end of the world gold lead, but it's getting close. And at 6.5 minutes, that is a little early for this one to look like this. As all right, Will looking for another opportunity. Does have Cataclysm now complete. And Chovy's still with no flash, so there is no way that he can get out of this. But with his Catalyst, just takes so much killing. And he still has Egg, ladies and gentlemen, so they were not killing him under that turret.
Yeah, they had to get him down outside of tower range. They could pump damage in the Egg to get it. But unfortunately, weren't able to meet the DPS requirement.
Oh, and I do want to have a look as well at Ruler's build. I know it's a dangerous thing to do sometimes, but there is no Ghostblade in sight. That's a BF Sword Orcs. I'm feeling fantastic.
So often we see, I feel like the Ghostblade, the reason...
Oh, a little bit of a Gnar into the wall here is Kiin. Just going to get a Grasp stack and say thank you for that one. So Rich is trading relatively well. That Q missing there from Kiin. Going to be helping Rich out in this matchup, but I think Kiin just very happy to keep farming.
Yeah. I feel like often we see the Ghostblade come through because it's so much easier to recall and get a Dirk than it is to get a BF Sword. and the Stormrazor build path feels kind of bad if you're not backing at some point with a BF sword, but it feels like such a smoother build path to just be able to go straight into your crit. And the fact that Ruler has that, he's in prime position now. They are looking for Ucal.
Yeah, Ucal just going to be snared up here by Duro. Canyon does get put into the rune prison, but I don't think he's surviving. Oh, makes it out just barely. As Ruler now looking for the fight against LazyFeel, who's arcane shifting after him. The minions were angry, and now the curtains have been called. True Rush puts him in position, but he does have the barrier there. Andil slowed down, as Canyon also not going to be able to close the gap until right now. Takes a turret shot, though, as the Aegis Assault comes on in. Andil will explode, as Duro's able to grab that one, and there's the snare, there's the shield, and down will go LazyFeel, as somehow Gen.G made that work.
LazyFeel trying to get so much done in that situation. Now looking at Willa to see if he can clean up.
My goodness, this is looking dangerous. The Cataclysm gets flashed, so no damage does come on through. And then Duro is just going to snare him. The follow-up Deadly Flourish will be there, and Willa doesn't find any joy.
Devastating for Willa if he'd ulted. Oh, he's going to try and stop the shield.
Oh, no.
I don't even think it actually hit, but
Flag not quite able to do
well. Yeah, Willa goes for the ult on a Ruler. Ruler flashes, the damage doesn't connect. He stays alive, and then he doesn't have the tools to chase down the Calm. And we'll see the replay. LazyFeel gets a lot of damage down here. Feels confident, plays aggressively into Ruler's face, but doesn't overstep, respecting the threat of the ult. True Shot barrier comes through from Ruler so he can keep channeling the ultimate. And then here Andil gets rooted, unfortunately. And LazyFeel manages to get the turnaround kill, but Arcane shifts into the Mantra, just gets rooted afterward. Duro tanking the tower as well to keep Ruler alive.
Yeah, it was pretty masterfully done. Canyon has died twice so far, but activity prior to 10 minutes being 4 out of 5 of these kills certainly feels like he has followed the orders that we set for him. Deadly Flourish going to miss here towards this bottom side as Andil's having a bit of a sing. And Kiwoom DRX, the flash encore going to come on through. The beat drop comes down. LazyFeel finding the combo. Ruler staying alive for the moment as Duro looking to try and get some of that health bar back and avoids a whole bunch of those skill shots and will keep himself alive. Meanwhile, the train has left the station in this top lane as Kiin going aggressive onto Rich. There's a flash solo kill from this Sion. Man, Rich, we warned you about this.
The solo kill adds the Sion into not something you see every day, but Rich Kiin just has this tendency when he's playing Sion to find solo kills where other players cannot. A pick that has to be respected. Full channel Q comes out here. Rich is in Mega at the start of this as well. So much damage done.
I think just caught thinking that Kiin had backed, and so Rich, I think, used too many buttons on the wave, perhaps. Very unfortunate.
The stun from the Q coming in as Rich turns into mini as well. Basically perfectly timed. And I feel like things are looking pretty dire for Kiwoom DRX, 2,400 gold down. I will say LazyFeel has been kind of popping off for some of these fights, but...
oh dear. Rich does still have flash, as now the curtains have been called. Duro comes from behind the turret, though. What the heck? What was that?
Flanking Karma, able to help deliver that play. Rich goes down even after using the flash, and the problem is bot lane, you cannot do the same thing to this Sion. It is just not feasible.
Ucal
from Ucal just to clear the wave.
Yeah, so we'll be able to deny, the crystalline overgrowth, I guess. So that is something. Already one plate was taken here on this top side, but Ucal, I mean, you don't want to be putting out fires. You want to be starting them for the enemy team, right?
Yeah, if you actually look on the minimap, you can see this line of wards that Duro clearly went and put down and avoided the control ward in the tri-brush. It just went on a full journey through the enemy jungle to get that flank through.
Yeah, it's a vision tour. Just did a bit of a vision tour.
And he got that, that's the control ward you learn about when you started playing League of Legends. They used to just put down in the enemy jungle and it'd be there for 30 minutes.
Yep, the one that you have to name. Often gets called Albert on my cast.
We'll see how long Albert lasts in this game.
The last time we had an Albert wasn't very long.
The problem is...
few people have clued in.
It was Duro's...
Oh, it gets replaced immediately.
Yeah, that's the problem, is it's Duro's control ward and supports just spam control wards, so... Not very long. Goodbye, Albert. It was nice knowing you.
Yeah. Or unless you've just moved to the back of the Dragon Pit, that'd be nice. It's nice to know that Albert's
Well,
still
actually,
here.
I think they placed him. I think Duro placed him in the tri-brush, and he just.
Oh, did he?
He just got cleared.
All right, so he just. So that's not him there. Okay.
Goodbye, Albert.
Oh, bye, Albert.
Again.
So many times we've had to say goodbye to Albert as Rich is going to knock into the wall. Do you think that Kiin noticed? I don't.
I don't think he felt it.
No, it's just you know, you have to do a lot of work to try and do damage to this Sion. Not as much to do damage to Willa though, who is getting pushed out by Canyon. Deadly Flourish is good, but the buffer is there as the spear is going to connect. Andil is just nothing he can do about that. Sandwiched into the wall.
Oh, Ruler's ult is about to come up.
Oh, there it is. The curtains have been called as now LazyFeel does get out of the way of him, but still gets stunned up by Chovy. The bullets are going to rain down onto Willa, and now it's 10-2 in favor of Gen.G. This is demolition in Vietnam.
Just feels like a regular theme of this game has been members of Gen.G, often Duro, like behind the enemy turret, cutting you off from escaping. Here they just push in, they know they're strong. And I just feel bad for Andil. Chovy walks up and just traps him against the wall after the root.
Look at this.
He's just stuck.
Counterplay, please.
It's just unfair. And then Ruler's ult comes up. The first two shots were calibrating. The last two are spot on. LazyFeel tries to get out of it and just ends up in the face of the Pantheon. So, tough start for Kiwoom DRX.
And we do have Storm Razor completed here for Ruler. Got a cheeky little Zeal there as well, building towards the rapid fire cannon second. Hopefully then it is an Infinity Edge. And this Jhin, I mean, as far as Jhin builds go, it's one of my favorites.
IE or LDR, both good item, although not that much armor coming through yet from Kiwoom DRX.
Expecting that the IE should be the one that he goes for. Right now, it feels like it doesn't even matter too much, as Canyon pretty deadly at this point in time with a 1,200 gold lead. Very similar to that of Chovy and of Ruler. They will be able to take down this dragon as well. Chovy might be in a little bit of trouble as Rich throws a house at him, and Ucal is going to show up, but he just flashes away, and he'll be all right.
Yeah, Rich just not quite in range to get that wallop stun down onto Chovy. The slow coming in clutch there from the Glacial Storm keeps Chovy safe. Still has to flash, but I think surviving that, flash or not, is a pretty big win.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't make Shelly upset. So Duro just going to leave after taking a bit of Q damage. But we have bounties set up, ladies and gentlemen. This is it's really getting into dire straits for Kiwoom DRX. They are more than 5,000 gold behind at 15.5 minutes into the game. 12 kills already as well. I mean, it's pretty bloody when it comes to a Gen.G game, especially a Gen.G game that has Jhin, Sion. You know, they'd often be playing for the late game, not to mention Anivia, who certainly does enjoy it when games go long.
They're not under a huge amount of pressure to get the ball rolling, but they
did.
Definitely did, yeah.
And, man, Canyon really upping the tempo, though, you know? Not 100% kill contribution, but is 100% death contribution. Which is, I mean, I'll take any proactivity at this point. As the teleport's coming on in here, Chovy just wandering around doing lots of damage to Willa. Canyon coming on forward, not hit by that encore as the Seraphine is just going to go down. True Shot Barrage hits Kiin, I think, but I'm not entirely sure. As Canyon gets a big old shield, he'll be okay. Rich, he will not though, as now Ucal stuck underneath the turret, the huge wall. And speaking of walls, Kiin is one.
Yeah, as soon as Kiin got aggro, I'm like, that turret's irrelevant.
Yeah.
Like, it is not a factor at all. Kiwoom DRX try and make a play and get shut down. Now LazyFeel has to do some fancy footwork.
Well, is able to just arcane shift out of the cone. That's a good way to do it.
Yeah, saves you having to dodge. See these AD carries definitely going very aggressively against
another
each other.
turret shot.
That will force him to back away, but he will be okay. The rest of the team, not so much.
No, let's have a look at this one more time.
Yeah, they go for Chovy. Chovy disengages pretty well, and then the TPs start coming in. The Pantheon ult starts coming in. You can see Kiwoom DRX a bit indecisive. Do they want to go forward? Do they want to go backward? They end up committing quite heavily. And Canyon, once again, the focus target, but with Karma Shields and that Aegis to keep him alive, so hard to take him down. And this is kind of us seeing Pantheon doing what he does best.
Yeah.
Gets a triple kill as well, cleans up that one onto Ucal. He is now extremely fed in this game.
And Seraphine kind of singing with her back to the audience in that one. A little bit unfortunate there, wasn't able to deal with the Pantheon that was the big problem. Doesn't really quite find the ulti angle that they were looking for. Kiin now has 2 items. Malignance is done for Chovy as well.
Yeah.
A fun little choice. 207 on the Anivia. Ruler will finally deal with this outer turret in the mid lane because his rapid fire cannon's also done. It's an 8,000 gold lead, sub 20 minutes. This is just a massacre.
Yeah.
There's always game 2.
That's
what
true.
we like to say. But, I mean, at this point, they're winning so hard, you may as well give them game 2 as well.
And in fairness, the last time these two teams played, Gen.G did also kind of stomp that game. And then Kiwoom DRX came back in game 2. So, you know, maybe they're looking to go down that line again, because
you'd hope so.
This one is feeling a little bit extremely doomed.
A little bit extremely indeed. As, oh my goodness, he was dead before the train got there.
Yeah, I think he was waiting for Kiin to come before flashing or barrier, using barrier, and he just got caught off guard by the Pantheon burst. He has 6 kills now, by the way.
Yep. And also, that's why we don't blame LazyFeel for not pressing those buttons, because, you know, if he does use it, then the train comes, and then he has nowhere to go. So, just a little doomed. As Chovy teleports towards that bottom side, clears out that wave in an instant.
Oh, this is a tight turn. Oh, no problems
nice
there. Canyon, solid work.
Yep, turned on a dime. Pretty good turning circle on good old Shelly. As there's the stun, but does eat it, does Willa, with his flag and drag. But the inner turret's going to be taken down. That gold lead moves to 10k, sub 20 minutes. Inner turret's up in top and mid, but I don't know for very much longer.
Just saw an ult out of Ruler forcing the flash from Rich there as he disengages away. It's a Hextech soul this game. I do not think it is relevant at all.
No.
I'm not sure we're getting very many more dragons.
Yeah, we might get a Baron. That's going to spawn in 11 seconds time. And I think Gen.G might be able to just take it if they would like to.
Yeah.
Whether they do is, you know, up for debate. But Mikhail's is done. Like, Duro is an entire Mikhail's ahead of Andil right now. Just makes Ruler so incredibly safe. Makes, in fact, anyone that gets engaged on so incredibly safe. Duro kind of has been everywhere this game.
Yeah, LazyFeel at least has his core items done, which is obviously a big point of power for the Ezreal, but is still very behind.
Yeah, he is able to do a bit of damage here, but the Arcane Shift is going to be immediately punished as the flash does have to come on through. They do take down the Pantheon, and Kiwoom DRX actually finding a bit of an angle in this one. The Realm Warp to try and push it further even more, as Ruler could be in trouble. Rich is running real fast, trying to catch up to him, but the turn is on, and down will go the Gnar. Kiin, I mean, they're not going to kill him. The rest of Gen.G, though, can they actually catch up? As LazyFeel able to Arcane Shift to safety. 1 for 1, though, definitely pretty good here for Kiwoom DRX, as they are the team that was exceedingly far behind. An even trade certainly going to benefit them way more, as the wall going to get set up. Willa going to have to flag and drag over it, and it is going to be Andil able to escape as well. So Gen.G losing out on 1,000 of their gold lead.
Honestly, this was a great play from Andil, and really this could have been the comeback play for Kiwoom DRX. If you look at the ult flash he does here, gets it through the Pantheon onto Ruler.
Perfect.
They jump onto Ruler, but Kiin is just such a momentum killer. This brick wall that kind of stops the rest of Kiwoom DRX moving forward. The wall from Chovy as well denies the backline follow-up, and Rich gets focused down as he tries to move forward onto Ruler. And then Kiin just pushes up, and LazyFeel is firing Mystic shot after Mystic shot, and it does
was he?
nothing.
Yeah, I didn't notice.
Yeah, unfortunately. He has immediately picked up a Last Whisper.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
I think that's a shrewd investment.
Well, Kiin's at it again, as he does manage to land onto Ucal. Gets the knock up there as well, as LazyFeel is going to be the first target. They take him down immediately. Great flash from Duro, avoids Rich, as Canyon might be his target, and I think Ruler is going to be able to protect him this time. And in fact, Canyon gets the work done himself with his spear. Now the Deadly Flourish going to connect onto Andil as well, slowed down by the Mantra Q, and he will be dead. Gen.G getting some revenge from their jungler dying the first time around. That's 3 on the floor for Kiwoom DRX, and I think they will just break open the base. Chovy just happily farming in the top lane.
Yep. Feels like this game was done a while ago, but they are just putting extra nails into the coffin. Yeah. Kiwoom DRX at least going for these attempts, trying to make things happen, but just being met with a gigantic gold lead. And Gen.G just shutting them down. Yeah, it's a lot.
Okay, Chovy building third item dash cannon is unheard of, by the way.
The gold lead is just like a third of Kiwoom DRX's gold.
It is a big amount of lead.
Yeah. Ult comes in here from Kiin, and LazyFeel does manage to avoid it with the arcane shift, but then gets stunned over the wall. CC gets laid, doesn't get to play the game. And Rich, oh, we get another fight.
All right, we're straight back into it. Andil just going to get crashed into by a train. That one generally hurts. As Ruler taking a lot of killing, but he will finally go down as they did just Realm Warp on top of him. But now, oh goodness, like reality, Gen.G are just crashing down on Kiwoom DRX. It's a triple for Canyon as the wall is phenomenal from Chovy. Ucal getting a fair bit of AoE down here, but it is Chovy that's able to get that work done. And now Willer is running away as the last man standing of Kiwoom DRX. He does have a smite button. It's not available just yet, but he could potentially contest this, but I think Kiin and Duro are going to make sure that the Jarvan is ushered out of the jungle.
Yeah, not giving him a chance to contest this one.
10, 3, and 8 for Canyon.
And you know what? I'm going to say something. He was for sure going for that Penta. You could see him lining it up.
Yep.
He popped the scared Yuumi emote after it got stolen by Chovy. He was hoping. That was his angle. That was his chance. And then after the Ryze died, he realized it was not to be. This was just great target selection from Kiin and Canyon here. Straight onto this. Seraphine just dies immediately. LazyFeel can't really be in a position to play the game. They commit onto him after the wall just slightly misses there from Chovy. Puts him on the other end, but they flash to commit to the play. And then here, Canyon's got a triple. He's like, oh, is it
I see it.
Look, he lines up the spear. And it gets stolen. And then he pops the Yuumi emote immediately after.
And
so,
that's why they were very happy to leave Willer alive and just take this Baron instead.
Yeah, it really told the story, that situation. And honestly, maybe for the best for Gen.G, because I know they would have chased Willer to the end of the year.
They would have.
And not gone for Baron.
All right, Kiin. Man, there are train tracks all over the place here as he just rams it into the turret. They don't have a lot of minions.
Yeah.
The Kiin does have a lot of health bar. So I guess they are just going to stand here and take down this turret here. Brute Force is the way as Roar the Slayer comes on through. Deadly Flourish connects onto LazyFeel there as well. There's the Encore onto the front line as Chovy gets gnawed back by Rich and flashes immediately out of the way. The Cataclysm comes on down, but they're a bit off kilter, and the gold lead is just massive. The Jarvan will finally fall, and the curtains, I think, are certainly called for Kiwoom DRX here in this game, as the second inhibitor likely to follow suit as Rich just looking to get back towards the rest of his teammates. And Gen.G, I mean, there is a Canyon with a very low health bar, so maybe not going to go for too much more. As somehow that Hex Gate was taken here by Ruler.
Yeah, that was close. I thought he was definitely just going to get denied on it and go down. But it was honestly a good fight from Kiwoom DRX.
Kiin can die.
12,000 gold down. But unfortunately, they are. Actually, they're about to be 13,000 gold. That ult from Andil, great work, and then comboing here with the follow-up from Willer. Rich slams Canyon in as well. It's a positive start to the fight, but the damage just isn't there. The gold just isn't there. And even with that solid start where they take down this seemingly immortal Sion, they just don't have the gas in the tank to follow through on the play. And Gen.G managed to force them away and back off.
Okay. Oh, nice dash cannon there for Ucal.
Okay, I've got to ask you something.
Yes.
Max.
Yes.
We're not really... we're talking about the Jhin build.
Yeah. Oh, no! Oh, no. The fourth... No,
the late Dick?
Oh, the good old fourth item collector.
Is he
the forbidden tech.
Is he going... Maybe.
Fourth item Ghost Blade so he can chase down his foes.
Here's my theory. Maybe he is going Serpent Span. Because there is...
Oh, that'd be cute.
A non-zero amount of shielding on the side of Kiwoom DRX, you know, from Ucal with his Willer and Andil.
I would hate that the least.
Yeah,
I think.
I agree with that.
That's all right. There is the jump in Gnar from Rich, and a decent encore there as well as Chovy is taking some damage, taken down to the egg, in fact, as LazyFeel off to the side, trying to get that damage through. Does have to arcane shift over the wall, though, and it's a double kill for Ruler. Yeah, Chovy, he went to the egg, but then he was just fine. The triple set up for Rula. He wants the penta, and Ucal is set up for it, and Chovy steals another one with Willa left alive. Oh my goodness, it's beautiful. It's like a dance, isn't it? As Gen.G just do the same steps over and over again. It is going to be a full house. Rula's full of Chovy's in the end as the ace comes through, and the Nexus is finally taken down.
Chovy really said to his teammates, if you want to get a penta, you've got to get through me.
Yeah, he did.
That is the biggest challenge.
If I can get this kill, you don't deserve the penta.
I think the best thing is like he gets those final 2 kills, and he's like, Rula, that was my penta.